I was actually diagnosed with breast cancer, estrogen positive, progesterone positive, HER2 negative back 10 years ago, 2008. And I did conventional treatment back then, had a double mastectomy, went 8 years, totally fine, no problems, anything like that. And in November 2017, I had some issues in my abdomen, and I went in and they thought that it was my gallbladder. So I tried to do different cleanses for like a month, and nothing seemed to make it feel better. And so I finally gave up. I said, I want to just take my gallbladder out. So when I went in to have my gallbladder removed, they did not remove it. It was fine, they said, and that I had cancer all over in my abdomen. So I had a recurrency happen in my abdomen. At this point, it's considered stage 4 once it moves to another part of your body. So at that point, I actually decided to do Rick Simpson oil, THC, CBD, that sort of thing. And my doctor put me on an estrogen reducing pellet, basically something to turn off my hormones and my ovaries, and but they didn't seem to really want to turn off, and so they had a treatment plan to do different sorts of therapies for me. And then at one of a drainage appointments I had in September, it was at the ER, and it was completely botched. I ended up with this huge hematoma. And within 3 weeks after that, I started vomiting and had nausea and vomiting daily. And so my numbers started to climb a little bit then because I wasn't able to eat. And I lost 30 pounds in 6.5 weeks. Fortunately, I'd come here for testing a little bit earlier than that. And within a very short amount of time from when I had the testing, I was ready to come here and get my cancer taken care of, because now it was just getting worse. Things were getting worse, and I knew by the time I got here, I came here on my kid's birthday, October 22nd, I was dying. I was not good. I carried a white bucket with me everywhere because I was throwing up all the time. I didn't know why I was throwing up. I didn't realize the injury that I'd sustained had messed up my GI tract, and so I didn't know until I actually saw my radiation oncologist in November, and he pointed out the things that were wrong within me and what was on the CT scans that were missed and things like that. And so I ended up having to, just to sustain my life, I had 6.5 weeks of food bags, basically. They call it TPN. That's not to help my cancer. That was just so I could stay alive while I was doing the treatment here.
So let's go back just a little bit. How did you hear of Envita?
I heard about them on Facebook, actually. I saw some testimonials on Facebook, probably just like this one. And there was a woman that was in her 70s that had my kind of cancer, and they had talked about the testing. And honestly, the testing was huge to me, because what I found out is the treatment that I was recommended back home that I never started was 0% kill rate for my cancer. So when I looked into it, the testing was what was really important to me. I actually feel that every person that has cancer should minimally come here and get testing. Well, when I went to where I got was getting my care, my friend worked there. She gave me a book of what the treatments were, and I looked through it and found my cancer and found what they were going to give me, and it's a cookbook. So it's not made for my particular kind of cancer. It didn't say it will help you with your cancer. And at this point in my head, I'm done with cancer. Like, I'm not going to get this cancer back. My immune system has been supercharged to take this cancer out. It can identify it now, and it can take it out. Turning point wise, once I could start eating again, that was very helpful to me. But that's not even part of the treatment. That was more, they had to keep me alive and get me to a point where I could get food to not just, my stomach wasn't emptying, so it had to be able to get down me. I feel so good. I'm ready to go home. So I'm pushing to get home a little sooner than my doctor wants me to, but I feel really good, and I figure they've handled my cancer here. Whatever's left with my GI issues, I should go home and handle with a GI specialist there, And but I don't feel like I'm going to have to deal with this cancer again. It's handled.
Would you say that Envita was crucial
It was the thing to save my life. I wouldn't be here. I would have been dead by Christmas. Like, if I hadn't come here. Like, when I came here, I was super skinny. I was vomiting every day. I felt horrible. I felt like death. I knew I was dying when I arrived here. I feel freaking awesome. I'm so ready to go home and enjoy the rest of my life, and it's going to be a long one.